Icy will be at the front door, the guardian to stop this from happening. It's the first pistol, it's important to set the tone. And SRG poke through Dodonut with first blood. And look, there's a lot of damage going into SRG, so they're being careful one step at a time though. And you're putting a small dent into SRG, and Luna Fox holds the line and converges with also Animal. And Noya drops as well? Wow, Catface took the pistol. So
30 seconds left.
Catface are gonna do a lot of exploring. And look at how deep this Icy Jet is, and ice cold taking out Noya. You're gonna make this SRG backline panic, and that's the opening that Catface find to bring the spike towards me.
Just beautiful inserts, a great default, inserting players, as we mentioned before, not only Icy, it was a double pump,
10
breaking out the
seconds
camera,
left.
selling out that fake towards tree, and then pivoting back towards B to catch once again the second phase to rotate back from Shopify Rebellion Gold. And you saw here on the side of the defense, they were just falling one by one with no opportunities to trade because they were caught off these rotates. So the retake though is being attempted. Donut's actually pushing out, full flash out to Icy. If they get this pick right away, there's a chance.
Oh jeez, it's all about timing between Lunafox and Slicey, and whether you want to use that null command while smoked off though. Slicey has to make one decision. But Mel is on the cutoff, and it's easy pickings for SRG. 1v1, Lunafox hiding, playing time, playing life. Mel knows only one spot, but it's Lunafox that strikes first.
Placing swamp grenade.
Now the null command is activated. It's going to be shutting down the site, but Mel's going to hold down glass and tree and hope to cut them off. And there is Catface getting pinged, but they can't hesitate. They are getting cut off, but it's still entries for the duelists and the rest of Catface, who now smoke off heaven, have their bases loaded, and they're ready to plant.
Small mistake coming out there. Somebody had to break that dart on side of SRG to try to keep Alexis alive inside that site. This retake is going to be so hard now for SRG.
Oh, not if you got President Noya, and she throws the hat out too, equalizes a huge information advantage, but didn't wait for the ping. Still waiting for that, but they're just going to be taking it out very soon, and Noya just didn't get enough support. A little too antsy from the SRG side.
The weapon's correct. Just have to be less afraid and not give up too much space.
Mel has a Bucky, and she just heard them sprinting through mid. She's going to take one down with her, combined with Donut, crunching down Catface on their plan B, and the spike is down. Hunter's Fury.
Beautiful.
Animal, they can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a Hunter's Fury, and they're downloading Catface to surround them as well. Now heading into the site, yet more picks come out SRG's way, playing that range battle. That's going to be the advantage. Now the defense has to work with a 2-for-1, make it 3 for Slicey. Nice, he's taking a big risk here. Donut is going to be here with the the tip of the spear. Now cut down. There's nothing sharp now about Catface, especially losing 2 huge players. They went for the orb to set up this null command. Their backup plan is the Hunter's Fury, turning around a 3 versus 5 against the GCNA champs. That is a difficult task for Catface to do. Now just spraying through smoke, hoping that SRG are going to be overconfident, maybe peek into their sight lines, but SRG are just going to hold their ground.
30 seconds left.
It was going to be difficult when already the first player that you lost was, your key component to try to get the entrance towards that site with the KO ult from Lunafox. So losing her was already a pain, and then you had Icy that had a perfect scale up towards middle. They actually saw that tip of the barrel from the off of Dodonut, yet Dodonut, as she gets
10
fired
seconds
across
left.
through the wall, answers back with her own bullet through the wall, and it lands right in the dome of Icy. So that will force that save attempt from Catface, which turns out pretty decent here for Animal. She will be able to stay alive, and they'll keep 3 weapons into the next round, and still... Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind.
It's going to be sitting over at A, trip to the front door. That could be what distracts Catface and leaves an opening for Donut. But this flank is something Catface like to do every once in a while, but usually expending more members to put that pressure on. I failed to make it 10. Mel with a beautiful 3K. Make it 4. And this is a win streak. That is going to be tough to break. If you
Also, the Cypher Cage to protect Alexis towards that site. And such a nice hold towards the end. So as it looked like a very strong start for Catface at the very beginning, this turns out to be a very standard scoreline on a map like Ascent.
Okay, the Jen has to dash in, the rest have to deal with the Sonic Sensor, and that judge is gonna hurt. And you found Mel, who's been sitting more on the low ground, who's not gonna be able to escape, and you're waiting for that support from Alexis, but then she got smoked off and the door is closed, so SRG are gonna have to try and turn around a 4 versus 5. What a shock pull from Sarah, while Animal was low. The plan will still go through, but that's why it's time for a response for SRG. And here's the Huntress Fury that Sarah's built up, and she's got a node in too. Catface just don't have the space or the peace of mind to get anything accomplished. But it is a 3 versus 3. Catface now have to fight this tooth and nail. The objective is probably not going to be safe. There's the ping. Sarah has information. She has the Odin. She's got also Catface low. There is a plan because Sarah's trying to use some shock bolts, but this flank from Donut is huge. Catface have their attention split. And what does Sin do in this moment? She tries to isolate the 1v1 and drop down with Sarah, gives her the 3rd kill, and SRG continued to win streak.
Towards at least wherever it goes, because this wall goes all the way back towards that spawn. Wherever they pull the rotate, gets the pick, they still have time to rotate back towards the other side.
Oh man, Icy's about to get over. Wow, that gets 2 headshots though. That is clean. You're really putting a dent into SRG, but now pushing on. Luna Fox is sandwiched between a rock and a hard place. And Noya's quite difficult to play against. And look at that, a 2nd frag too. Catface trying to reunite, have to deal with the barrier, and that's that barrier that Alexis threw to delay those rotations.
Yep.
But liking kind of this split, if Animal can... Thought she was going to have a 1v1 against Noya, but she's going to be sitting through main, so if Animal crosses this road, she's going to be hit by a truck. She has to look both ways. Depends on the timing with Sin, but with Sarah sitting underneath, this is just going to be a tough setup. I love this crossfire from SRG. Now time running out. Animal goes for the 1v1, and Sin wears theirs, and it's just Alexis left against Animal, and who's going to roar louder? It's Meow! It's Catface!
Time? Should have it. Very nicely done. Dude, what a nice position and communication coming out from these 2 players.
Really difficult for Catface, but now that this is smoked off, SRG try to get information on the site. I don't know if they know if there's a jet up close and personal, but Luna teleports in, takes care of the shotgun, but now there's a flurry of bullets, and SRG have 12 seconds to try and break in, because Noya's nowhere to be found, and she could still make this happen, a 1 versus 2 on the flank, but no time left and no one coming her way, so...
And it's a Judge Crossfire setup. The Outlaw 2 is such a pain to deal against for Icy. And especially with that spray through the cages, dropping Noya in the very beginning. Silver lining. Oh. I was going to say the silver lining that it was just Noya that falls, so it kind of just gives the impression that there's just the late lurk still towards this B side, but now they lose the tip of the spear. Donut falls, and the Stinger bind, the half bind that they have around whatever they saved here on Noya's rifle from that previous round gets, once again, cut down.
Yeah, and Animal's going to be able to buy some time, sort of solo holding A with their util at the front door, and even a turret she can play off contact. So SRG, though, are taking angles around. They're going to do what they can with what they got. And there's a Hero Vandal still from Sarah. And now she cuts through and goes 1 for 1, so it's not too bad. Face, though, just, I think, have to dot the I's, cross the T's. They did all of the work at the beginning at B main to pretty much secure this round.
And that's a difficult thing, too. I see, as Dan Dread, as Gompers, and Elizabeth mentioned on a desk here, very comfortable and good play on this Jet. The experience that they bring here from Collegiate going into the GC and showing that these maps, for example, if they're able to pull out Icebox, if they're able to play a map like Ascent, if they're able to play Haven, for example, as well, very strong Jet maps. But Slicey's position in towards Wine is going to be the big thing here if Shopify Rebellion move and end up towards this B site. But I love how they're just trying to fight forward here for map control just to make sure that they don't give that space back for Shopify Rebellion. And that's why you're pulling out this ult, pushing players in. But yeah, it's going to get broken down, but she's delayed enough. It gives a chance for the players to rotate across and allow for them to have, you know, a much better position for the retake, especially when you have Luna Fox with a flash and you have Slicey with a flash, and you're actually pitting all the players of Shopify Rebellion Gold inside this B site.
I think what's important is SRG knew Animal was alone because of the trade that happened earlier. I would have liked a delay on that lockdown, but Sarah is still a menace. Now only 2 left from Catface. They're going to converge down both lanes and just try to spray through the smoke, see what they get, and maybe even end up going for exit frags. When you go up against Sarah, it just seems unbeatable.
Site, so you kind of just shock dart the very beginning and just try to move it after.
Catface are kind of playing scared to hope to have those reinforcements in because Slicey has a paranoia.
Oh, missed her. That is Slicey's still in a good position at the bottom of the lane.
Annihilation, though, did just kidnap one of the two defenders on that site. So, Sin, Luna Fox, they better book it. Alexis claims one, and it's Slicey buying good time, goes 1 for 1. But with 12 seconds now, Catface have to play retake, and this Noya flank, the backstab against Sin, is really what's going to seal the deal for SRG and send them to match point. But wait, Sin wins that, and they just have to get through this barrier. And be a lack of bullets, not a lot of money going to the next round, so Sin has to pull off what seems like the impossible, and SRG just have to stay put, play time. And Sin's not going to have a lot of time to explore now that this is taking down. Meow and Sarah don't even have to swing, but they easily could with teamwork. Now Sin gonna chase this down, and a little damage in, peekaboo, and it's SRG on match point.
Catface probably used both of their timeouts already and couldn't really think this through.
Yeah, there's dimensional drift with the clone around. I think Catface are gonna just leave B and try to assist through on the A side because Donut has set up camp. There's a big win by Mel against the opposition. Slicey, you gotta teleport. From Mel, I guess. But hey, Animal's trying to make this even, make this as difficult as possible. And Catface are converging to her throughout market, but not fully synced up. Not enough to make Noya sweat. She goes to look towards her flank. It's a 1v1 against Sin. The Guardian is really good, but the spike is getting planted. Hunter's Fury from Sin to try and deny what seems like the inevitable. But Mel falls. A great cut at the Achilles of SRG.
You still have Hunter's Fury that gets great value here from Sin to allow here and deny the opportunity of a plant for Shopify Rebellion Gold. And the more plants that you're denying here on your defensive side is grinding down to the economy. Look at SRG. They don't have too much left to work with. So this could put them into an equal in the next round. A chance for Meow to really move in for the comeback.
What a paranoia from Slicey. Was able to win that against Alexis, but Mel's always there. You know SRG are stacked on that side. But did you count all your chickens before they hatch? SRG are not all at A main. And this is where Icy has to take a risk and go solo. And unfortunately does not kind of surprise SRG as they weren't fully committed into B. So Icy didn't get the right timing.
And that's the thing, unfortunately. So that's where the pugging comes in a little bit. The lack of practice as a team. You're trying to do individual plays towards the end when you've already lost, you know, a little bit of control towards the wine area, but it's still a 4 versus 4. Your dash expired. You can't really escape when you're looking for more information down towards middle when you're out there in the open. Fall back, play your 4 versus 4. But unfortunately here for the side of SRG, they have, or sorry, for the chat's side of Catface, SRG could just close it right here.
They could. There's paranoia, shock bolts. That's pressure at the backside of the box. Sarah is a sniper. I don't know what else to say. She is so good on the Sova. Noya's feeling good too, and it's just Animal that it's not going to be going out with a loud bark, but more just a whimper. But hey, this was a very, very close map. We'll see what Animal can do to close things out. 1 below, 1 in main, couple in tree. And Mel is just gonna have herself smoked off. Is gonna hear that drop down from Animal. Dodonut's sitting in wine. And while the spike gets tapped, I guess Mel peeks out from hell and takes care of the job. 13-9 for SRG on the map pick of Catface. But hey, strong pistols, strong anti-ecos from Catface. I like what I saw.
I think for SRG, with this comp, you're going to try to default a little bit more slower here with all of this utility, and they're walking back for contact up towards that rubble, get the contact onto Luna Fox, and drop her first.
Big opener, but on the other side, oh, because of that boom bot and the paranoia, or the prowler, I should say, Icy could have been able to find a trade, and we'll just be at a standstill, falling back towards the side as SRG trying to cut into B, thanks to what Mel was able to do to pave the way towards that objective. And then you have Noya watching from main if there were to be a ceiling door opening. So I like the game plan out of SRG, but it is Catface that have won every pistol so far. How is Lotus gonna look? It is a 4 versus 3, and when it rains and pours, Alexis continues to defend the site, and it's just Animal putting shots down. A lot of people low from the SRG side, but even the isolation against Alexis is easily rotate to C, really depending on where the hit ends up being. It's a nightfall that hits no one because Slicey ended up kind of trying to go towards C and help support that. So SRG feel confident getting into the site, but there's gotta from
Down
Slicey is big, and because the smoke dissipates, Slicey cannot escape. Good response from Sarah. 2 versus 2 on the post plan, and Animal and Icy still have to drop down together. Animal has the flash, but can't really set it up. They are going to try and pinch from both sides. I like that Icy's able to run away, and maybe it sets up the other for success. Annie goes down at least with 1. Sarah versus Icy, and it's Sarah with the last laugh.
Now adding this pressure towards that rubble, trying to play contact. This lurk down coming in towards that B side from Noya. If she gets a pick, that's going to be a lockdown for Pulse Plant.
Okay, Nightfall from Luna Fox, I believe, or yeah, Noya makes it work. 11 seconds though. Yeah, Catface prevent the plant at the spike through the kill contract.
It's over.
The spike carrier. So funny.
Oh my. Even if Mel wins that fight, that's a consolation prize, but you kind of needed Alexis to stay alive. You saw the idea was there.
Set up at Rubble, but SRG are pretty committed towards C. They'll have, of course, Meow watch the flank. Nightfall is going to hit those players from Catface, so they are just going to try and stay in cover and just shoot through the smoke to keep SRG delayed, but SRG kicked down the door, and it will cost them. But they did evict those defenders. Now Catface at least have Luna Fox here, one away from the Nightfall, but still having a Prowler and a Haunt is pretty huge. So
and a lurk.
Yeah, Slicey. Oh, but this backstab from Noya is just gonna take out Slicey here in a second. It's all up to Luna Fox, who has to react to now the waterfall presence. Hey, gets a free headshot onto Dodonut, and Alexis is low. Very doable for Luna Fox in this 1v2, but time is not on her side, and Alexis knows it. She's gonna stay hidden. The turret's gonna ping Luna Fox crossing, and Alexis dispatches.
Okay, so you're gonna try to leverage that with Luna Fox.
Especially with the Nightfall too. A lot of ult stacked on the right side for Catface. Prowler from SRG gets shot down, and Icy sussed out. And what a good read. The Boombot and the Prowler from SRG reveals that duelist, so Dodonut, no duelist stands in her way anymore. And this is a good shutdown. No, Slicey couldn't surprise. Dodonut does get her pretty injured, 27 HP. So Donut's gonna need a lot more support. Vice Wall and Thorns revealed at B. So you're gonna try and wait this out, but actually Noya's cut off, and because the Viper Wall comes out, Meow don't get good vision, or Catface don't get good vision. As soon as this drops, SRG could execute, but I like this angle from Animal, trying to at least get a one and done, and just swings at a good time. Does get the one, but
with information, alarm bot, boom bot, prowlers. What can you do here? I mean, look at the last round that they have. Yes, they have to work with, but their guns are not good.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind to see Icy play a Neon instead. They kind of play it solo. They have the advantage of the speed and the ult that they can make those flashy plays with, but not really working out with this agent. And now Animal has to close out the half on the longest blink of all time. And this will mean SRG get to double digits into the second half, which feels pretty over. Now Nightfall towards the back of the site, and that's going to be Dodonut exploring there. So there's an element of surprise. Animal with the Steel Guard in the 1v1, and Mel pops her before the ult pops. So I think Catface are super solid on pistols though, and now kind of what we said before, a lot rides on Luna Fox as a solo initiator of what she's able to open up with, and as the most flexible initiator too, and as that corrupt, she's fallen to a nade. Oh, the timing of SRG, they're so lucky, they're so good. This is Animal in a 1 versus 3. She's coming up through rubble, Mel first, and yeah, this is gonna be over quite soon. As they haven't missed a beat. They've had some roadblocks, they've had some just bumps on their way here, but this is only to make them a better team. And it's Sarah with first blood, with the stinger at the front door, Catface. Out to see if they could even try to trade that. They look for vision now that the wall is down, but there's a crossfire from SRG from all angles. And Sindo, she's always good for her one. And SRG now smoked off. Let's see how close they are with the boom bot as Noy opens up the door. And Meow, or Catface, they just get caught by that.
Yeah. Went from a Meow to a Screech, but thankfully Sin is able to do some
One
damage
enemy
with
remaining.
the Sheriff, but
Spike
I mean, it doesn't
down,
really
attacker
matter.
spawn.
At this point, even if you've done some econ damage, you're now at 2 to 12 on the scoreline for SRG. 1 ult cycles in on that round number 5.5 or round number 7. It could already be GG right there. So you're just hoping here that the silver lining is Sin could come in here and maybe win this fight, get a plant
30
down.
seconds left.
But at 10 HP against the president,
Toxin screen down.
Both missed, but hey, Noya's injured. Oh, Noya just catching the cross.
continuously playing towards these gauntlet plays and playing challengers, even if you're getting relegated or whatnot, it's still such good practice when you go into these type of tournaments as well for Game Changers. You're just continuing your reign of being the champs in North America, the champs in the world, looking for a 3-peat on top of that with this new roster with Donut joining the team. Speaking of Donut, she just got dropped here with more GC share shots out from Slicey this time around. There's a chance. I mean, this is hard. I was going to say this was a 4-on-3.
Ooh.
Now Noya just has to stay alive, try to prevent the push from happening into Waterfall in his pulse plant to give a chance for the last two to rotate over and play a 3v3 retake.
Yeah, Noya has to disappear after that paranoia. A Prowler from SRG just to clear if a cat face had extended out. But Icy's the one that goes for crazy shenanigans like that, and they won't be around for now. SRG ready to converge. Coalesce 1-2. Sarah the sniper, and Animal's on the run, but she's only prey. SRG take the map in the series, and semifinal is the destination.
Oh, a little bit easier on the second half now for Shopify Rebellion, but Shopify Rebellion Gold continue to be the rebels that is hard to deal against. Yes, it was a bit of a fight coming out here from that first map from Catface. There is still some hope to see how they're going to play here into the lower brackets. There's still some really good competition. I mean, Elizabeth mentioned it before here at the desk that this is probably the most stacked North American GC that we're currently witnessing here on that first split of 2025.